Good morning and welcome to Orca News. The headlines. Total COVID-19 cases in Landova is now at 52. President lifts in order to ease restrictions. London Underground trains will be operational on July 1st. LINGUS General Hospital is off limits. And Landova version 1.3.1 is out now for download. Today's total COVID-19 cases in Landova are now at 52, adding 2 new cases. The number of cases per place is the following. 22 are in Shuttler, 13 are still in Picot City, 9 are still in Plainsfield City, 5 are still in Flathills Village, 2 are still in Old Massa Village, and 1 in Commerce Valley Terraces Village. Active patients have decreased and there are only 4 active cases left. Recoveries are now up to 43. And fatalities are now at 5. The health department ensures the lowering of new cases throughout Landova. President lifts in order to all local officials and mayors in Landova to ease up their restrictions, except for Shuttler, because of the high cases left there. The president stated that closure will still be the lowest COVID-19 alert level all over Landova. As for that, here's the COVID-19 alert level map in Landova. Shuttler is under quarantine isolation level 2. Picot City, Plainsfield City, Old Massa Village, Flathills Village, and Commerce Valley Terraces Village are under quarantine isolation level 1. Sonamo City, Whitetown Village, and Frostley Village are under closure. Travels inbound and outbound for Landova are still restricted. The president stated that travel would be resumed by July, if the cases and infections won't worsen in the coming days to weeks. The trains from London will now be operational by July 1st. More to report from Paul Wanders in Returnham Stadium Station. Paul?
Yes, Carson. The London Underground trains that were delivered past 3 weeks ago will now be operational by the 1st of July. The Landova Metro Transit System Management or LMTS Management has tested the trains yesterday and began working quite successfully. Here's our clip for the test run. The trains will all be disinfected and properly handled by the LMTS upon the opening of the stations. Proper social distancing and limited passenger per cars must be observed. Loitering is not allowed in all stations. Carson?
Thank you, Paul. The Plainsfield Picot Prodicano Project Phase 2 in Plainsfield City has now finished the construction of most buildings in the city. Mostly residential houses are now built in the city. More restaurants and shops were now added in Plainsfield Mall. The Urban Planning and Development Department will now begin the massive long-term construction of Picot City. The third phase of the project, that will happen in Picot City, would take up a year for completion. From that, the construction in Shuttler has now built more commercial and residential buildings in the municipality. Workers are being put on special precautions for safety management and concerns about the coronavirus. Likewise, the infrastructure must be done within the year. LINGUS General Hospital in the city of Picot is off limits for visitors and people with no illness. The chief officer of the hospital is conducting quarantine and sanitization measures in and out of the hospital. Patients who are cured for COVID-19 will be quarantined for more than 2 weeks, but less than 3 weeks in a separate isolation room. This is to ensure total cure and free from the coronavirus. Patients who are admitted are still being treated. Sonoma City's situation under closure. More to report from George. George.
Yes, Carson. Sonoma City is under closure. The movement of people in the city is now beginning to be normal. Residents can now freely move along to the city with the extreme precautionary measure. Outsiders are not allowed to enter the city. The plains-filled Sonoma Bridge is closed for outsiders. Emergency vehicles are only allowed to traverse on the bridge. Residents of Sonoma City can also enter different cities still due to the coronavirus even if their alert level is under closure. Back to you, Carson.
Thank you, George. Here's our weather for today. The Health Department of Landova released an infographic video regarding on how to prevent the spread of the coronavirus COVID-19. You can watch the video on Landova Dev's YouTube channel. The update for Landova version 1.3.1 has now been released. More to tell from Amanda.
Landova version 1.3.1 has now been released in Planet Minecraft. President Lim Sun is guaranteed glad for the new update to be released for the public. President Lim Sun stated that tourism will grow in our country. Tourists or players will feel more interesting and fascinating playing the map. The president encourages tourists to contribute and suggest more for Landova and tell more about the experience in Landova at their Discord server as you can see from your screens. The new update includes new traffic lights, new trains, new restaurants in Sonoma City, the completion of LINGUS General Hospital, and so much more. This is Amanda Moore reporting for Orca News.
As for that update, you can now download Landova at Planet Minecraft. The link is in the description. Go and check it out and have fun playing it. And that is the news for this morning. This is Carson Nilgers for Orca News. Good morning, everyone.